Good morning, good morning, good morning, and a huge warm welcome to Carnation Crafts. We are live in the Carnation Crafts studio, and as always, it is wonderful to have your company. Bit of a different one today. Miss Taz is a little bit poorly, so it's just me in the studio. So obviously, we don't have the normal cameras, so slightly different. So apologies for any differences to you, but Pleasant Pastures still remains the same. It is still an epic collection, just absolutely beautiful and with loads of craftability for all of us. Now, because we are very, very close to Christmas, Mark and the team at Carnation are still doing everything to make sure this gets to you before Christmas. So any orders that we get through today, they will be pick, pack, posted immediately, which is always nice to know because it means you're going to get it straight away. Good morning. I don't know who it says for Facebook users. If you're in the craft group, I'm really sorry, but it doesn't show your name just on the pages. So we have still got everything for you. And as such, this will be a normal show. I can't do you demos, but we're going to arrange for a show to happen when demos can be done for you. But obviously Taz isn't here, so I haven't got the overhead, so everything would be a bit fuffled. We're going to have a look through all of the boards, though. We're going to go through everything that we've got, and then also we're going to show you all of the samples that the DT have done. That way you're getting all the inspiration you could possibly need for everything that you've got. Remember, when the DT team make cards, you are free to copy the DT cards if you want inspiration from them. And it's a really nice springboard for us because the DT team are genius. So I'll be slow through those samples so you can get a really good look at what it is that you might be doing, and we can go through anything. This is probably a prime time if you've got questions to ask me them, because it is just me here. But as far as things like going through the boards and those kind of things, I will just carry on going through them. So please don't think I'm ignoring you. But it's so exciting. So you will find Pleasant Pastures over on the Carnation Crafts website, and that's www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. All the individuals are there, and so are the main bundle. So the bundle's there for you to see there, $109.99. So this is an awesome, awesome price. Now, it will only stay at that price for so long, and it will go back to its original pricing. So now's the time to do it. I think they're going to change that fairly soon. I think it'll be at the latest midnight on Friday. So just to let you know that you've only got so long to get it at that price. So I would go fast if I was you. And I think you'll still get it before Christmas. It's just we can't guarantee it. Let's put it that way. I think also this is going to be the last show as far as collections are concerned. So we'll have this one and then one at 11, and that'll be it until after Christmas, which is very, very sort of sad and weird and lovely all at the same time. So we will make sure you get everything you need. Good morning to you all. There's lots of you here. Thank you very, very much for joining me. It's very weird because I'm all on my own. I will try and do my best for you. So we're going to have a look at the boards first. Now, the camera that I'm using may pan in and out, so I apologize for that as well. But obviously, until Miss Taz is back, we're stuck with just me. I'm sorry. Pleasant Pastures frame. This has got to be one of my new favorites. I know I always say this with Carnation stuff, but because their card shapes are so beautiful, and we've got all of this filigree in there, but I love the shaping of it. What I also love is that essentially you're getting two cards in one, because the smaller aspects that we see in the middle here, that can be a card as well. So the large base of the die, the biggest die in the pack, if you like, that's your card base. If you want it to be, cut it twice, score it 1/2 inch and put them together. That's going to make your card base. Then you've got your mats, you've got your layers, and you've got your filigree. And then we've got the next sort of bundle in the second bit, which you can use all together or you can use it separately. So without even trying, we've got two card shapes. Take it further, make easels with it. The filigree is beautifully detailed, as you can see on the screen. What I don't want to do is put this too close to the screen, because if I do that, it's going to make the camera go whizzy. So I'm just going to keep it where it is right now. I will say your best bet for all of your information is the Carnation Craft website as far as viewing everything in slow is concerned. Remember, Carnation put all their inspiration on their page as well, so you can see everything. It's very exciting. It's very, very exciting. Has everybody got their pigs in blankets already? Lightly weathered, really important. These ones are always going to be really, really important with the Carnation collections. And I know they're ones that sometimes we might overlook on first viewing, and there's a reason that they are what they are. they're the borders, aren't they? They're the things that give us the textural viewing in our composition. So when you look at these, they might not be the thing that stand out the most in the card, but they're the things that complete the card. They also have incredible snippability. Those of you who are new to carnation, or maybe new to card making, and you don't know what snippability means, it's a really, really beautiful way of crafting with carnation dies. They've got lots of pit marks in them, so you can cut into them in decoupage. You can change the way the die is. Now, because I can't physically show you that, Carnation do have a video for it, both in the crafters group, I think, and on the page, where you can go and view the team working with snippability and showing you how you can change it up. And it just gives us a little bit of a hand holding. This one is lightly weathered. You've got the ladder, which is stunning. I don't want to bring this too close. If it goes whizzy whizzy, it's my fault. The ladder, which is gorgeous. That's going to be a beautiful border for you. You've also got the brick wall, the stone wall, the dry stone wall in, and you can snip that off if you want to, and you don't need to use it. You can snip the edge of the gatepost off. Excuse me. Hapless at the moment. So you can snip that off, or we can shape into it. So for instance, if I wanted to get rid of those two bricks there, I absolutely can. If I want to have a little animal or character poking, but I want them further in. So this would be if you were building a DL card, for example, you might want to have that long line, but you might not want so much on the width, in which case we can get rid of some of that so that it will fit into your DL shape. And that makes them really, really usable and craftable, which is what we want. We want it to be craftable because that's going to give us more scope for when we're creating. So lovely, lovely to do it. Lots of you here. I promise I'm not ignoring you, but we will go through the boards before I get to looking at all the comments. So really, really stunning pieces, but they're the important pieces. So from that, for any of you who've already seen, this is mind-blowing to me. This piece with the florals, the Wildflower fan, has got to be one of the cleverest dies. I am only going to risk it that close. The reason it's so clever, of course, is that we've got this point at the bottom where it meets, and that means I can weave and tuck those flowers into any arrangement I want them, because they cross over. So if I want this white one to go with the opposite white one, I can literally fold it over and it'll meet with the other. Then I can bring those on top of the pinks, or I can do it vice versa, whichever I want. So the bouquet is mine, and it means if I do, so it's got obviously the 5 fronds to it. I can make 5 different bouquets instantly, or I can leave it as a fan. Either way, but that gives me a really massive scope for my florals. You've also got the little point at the bottom here, which is your grounding device, and it also covers up any workings that you have in here. So it's super clever, it's super detailed, and it's incredibly useful. Now, the extra point to this as well is, of course, if I just want an extra bit of foliage, and I've cut this twice, I can cut the foliage off and use that as tuck-ins. I can use the extra florals as tuck-ins, so I can use them elsewhere. So if I wanted to use the full fan in a corner and then maybe just a couple of the florals in the opposing corner, so I'm still giving a hint of it, absolutely can do that with this, because we can snip into it. So really, really awesome to have, isn't it? Lovely thing to have. And so things like this, where you've got the 5 wildflowers here, I could cut into those and almost use them as a blossom fall if I wanted to on the card as a background. Really, really pretty. Wildflower fan, that's been super popular. Remember, you can get the individuals on the Carnation Crafts website. It's not always the best way to shop with Carnation, in as much as the bundle is the best value. There's loads of value in that. So at the price it is today, the main, if you think of it in terms of shopping, you're kind of getting the big frame for free. So the bundle's always the best way to go if you possibly can. The individuals are there if you want them. Of course they are. Stocking up. Love this. Love, love, love this. Remember Rural Charm. Bring in Rural Charm too if you've got it. You've got that beautiful hay bale as such here, where you can put your animals behind it. You can have little faces poking from it. You can do all kinds of things with it. Really pretty, really, really useful. Awesome as a grounding device. It is, especially with all the stuff that we've got, it's a really useful grounding device. You've also got the little log pile here, and this is slightly more squat than the lightly weathered. And the reason that's important, of course, is borders. So if I'm using a small animal, it would make sense to use the smaller piece, depending what I'm doing with the card. A tall animal, again, we can play and change as we need. Really stunning though, right? And these are the important ones. These are the ones that give us those background sort of pieces. Then we've got Shirley the chicken, who I love. Isn't she pretty? Sitting pretty. I'll just get as close as I dare. Look at that. All the cut line detail that you're getting whenever we're using carnation and we're showing you the boards. The really great piece is here. Look at these. The boards are great because you see the vignettes, and of course that's important, but the bit that you should be sort of interested in for your scope is this bit. Where are those cut lines? How much detail in a carnation given us? And every white piece that you see on there is a cut line detail, and that gives us great scope for crafting out, and also just detail. So if you don't want to sculpt and you don't want to do anything with it, that kind of detail isn't normally found on die cuts, not to that extent. And because it works exactly with the free artwork, which I'll go through with you in a minute, that means that you've got everything sort of facing you, and it's really beautiful to play with. And it's where carnation is different from any other company, because what they can do, because they do it in-house, what they can do is add those cut lines in at source. So as they're drawing, they add those. So theoretically, if I was on Nick's computer, I could move those cut lines away and have a flat drawing. And that those cut lines are the things that make it what it is. That's why we see the difference with carnation when we're crafting with it. And it's there all the time for us. These are beautiful. Your run of the roost, and they're important too, because what we've got is the detailing in the colorway. So you've got the darker one here, and that is the one that will sit in the foreground, and you'll see this on the vignettes. It does tell you on the vignettes, it's clearly marked. So you've got the darker one, which is your foreground. Then we've got our mid-tone here, so that it would be your middle ground. Basically, you could have something behind it. If you were to have this one, that's in the background and it's faded out, so you can see it visually, but it's not the most important detail on the card. So you can either have it as a showstopper here in the dark, or you can have it in the light and have it as your just a background detail. Put them all together, and what you get is a perspective scope. So it's going to move, isn't it? So you're going to have this idea of movement. And a great way of playing with that as well is to leave the lightest one flat. So glue it flat. Then maybe a 2mm foam tape or a 3mm foam tape and a 5mm foam tape, so you get that line going back, and it will look incredible every single time. Run of the roost. The one you all fell in love with, though. You all fell in love with. When the carnation team go to town, look at our farmyard friends. We've got the beautiful horse. It's the Highland cow, isn't it? Let's face it, he is so cute. That little pig, the duck, and the ostrich. Look at that Highland cow. I'm using him as an example at the minute. Look at the Highland cow and the artwork for it and how beautiful that is. But more importantly, go over and look at his cut line detail, because that's what you're getting. That's what we pay for with carnation. Yes, we get the artwork. Yes, we get great quality dies, which we, obviously want. But that line detail, that's going to take your card to the next level every time, because it's important. It's really important to have that cut detail in our cards, because it changes the landscape of the die cut, because we can see the difference and we can see the quality running through it, and you're going to get it every single time. And I think we all can get complacent when you take that die cut out of the die and you look at it. We get complacent because we're used to that quality, but take the time to just sit there and go, it's incredible. Now we do have a different die. This is not part of the main collection, and it's selling very, very fast, of course. Well, the whole thing is, but this single die on its own is just going extraordinarily fast. And so what it is the stable door card. Is so good. It's so good. It's the stable door card shape, and we love it. We really love it because we can do so much with it. It's a separate item, and I'm just going to show you this here. Look, look. 2 colorways first off. Before we say anything else, you've got 2 colorways, which we like. Yes, it's a stable door. Does it have to be a stable door? No. Can it be any door? Yes. Where's it going? What other collections? You tell me at home, what other collections are you putting this door with? I can think of millions of collections this will go with. Loads of them. Because I can't think of a collection it wouldn't go with, really, because what are you putting in front of it? Can you remember the wee garden gnomes we had in the Crafters Select? Little gnome sitting in front of it. There's so much scope for this. Now, I'm just going to remove this board. So that is the lighter colorway. This is the darker. But just so I can explain the door to you and those line details that we've got. It's got hinges going all down the door, so we can cut through those little pips on one side and it will open the door fully. If you cut the pips just down halfway and then cut along sort of this line, that will open half the door, so you've got the true form of a stable door. We can remove the door altogether and use it as a filigree arch, which is beautiful. I've got to tell you, it looks insanely awesome. We can do all kinds of things with it. So every time you play with this, you can change it. Is it a new home card? Is it a congratulations card? Because often, you know, doors opening for us, that kind of thing. Or is it a stable door? And there's so many changes that we can make to it, but I just think it's absolutely stunning and it can be used for so much. And I love the shaping of it. I love the kind of the very beautiful rectangle that you get, but with the filigree in it, which really softens and dampens it, and then the shaping of the door as well. It just is really pretty, and so I'm not surprised at all that it's selling the way that it's selling, because it makes sense to us to have dies like this that are card bases, because you don't need to use it as a card base if you don't want to. You can just use the filigree as part of another card. So if you think of this as having an 8x8, this could be in the middle of the 8x8. It could be offset to one side on an 8x8 with things next to it as well. So if the, okay, either Kirsty in the office or you guys at home, fastest finger first. Which is the die? I think it's called Keen Gardener, and it's the lady with the dog next to it. Because if she was sitting here, I don't know which collection it's from. My head's not there. Right, let's fastest finger first. Either you guys at home or Kirsty. I'm sure it's called Keen Gardener, and it's the lady with the dog. Or was Keen Gardener the other one? It's the lady with the dog, and she's got a hat on, and she would be beautiful sitting next to this. You see how we change it around? Yes, everything would go with Rural Charm. Everything goes with this collection. The whole idea of Carnation is we are never boxed in. That's not their mission. Their mission is just to broaden all of your scope. Oh, June, I thought you'd given me the answer. Ordered mine this morning and the vignettes. Happy Christmas to me. Exactly, right? Because I think, June, you'll get it for Christmas. We're trying. We at Carnation are trying to get this out. I say we, I'm not there. They're in the office. So it's the team at Carnation, and they will do everything to get it to you as soon as they possibly can. So it's just awesome. Now I'm just going to look here because I think the boss might be talking to me. No, that's fine. I've got my phone open in case the boss talks to me, just in case I mess up, because they've left me on my own. Let's look at some finished samples and see what you're going to be making with this, because it's just gorgeous. Suzanne Page ordered mine at 5 a.m. and I set my alarm. The thing is, I could sit there and go, God, you know, but it's sensible to do that sometimes, because we know how fast things sell out at Carnation. And so to be able to know that you've got it is a really important thing. So let's have a look at some samples that we're going to be making. This one's done with the stable door. I'll be going between the two. Now, I'm just going to go quickly to the Carnation Crafts website. This is where you'll find everything. If you click to the home page, it will give you some details. Now, I'm just going to change over here. Let me see if I can get this to work. So if I go here, it tells you it's going to be $119.99 or $109.99. I'm hoping this is working because I'm now on a different tab. Everything is in here as your individuals. Please do go and look. If you look next to it, you will find that you have got all of the inspiration that you need as far as cards that are made with it. If you go over to the home page, I'm hoping this is showing on your screen, Pleasant Pastures Shop Now. That's where you need to be. That's going to give you all of the detailings. It will give you all of the code items that you need, and everything will stay there. Now, that banner is going to stay on the Carnation Crafts website for quite some time, but over on the right hand side, you do have a search engine that you can just type into Pleasant Pastures and this will appear. You can see all your details are there for ClearPay if any of you want to take advantage of that. That does sit there. You can add it to basket, obviously, if you want more than one quantity. That's there for you as well. Actually, while I'm on here and just before I get to those finished samples, all of your information regarding the sizes of the dies are always put on the Carnation Craft website for you to just grab hold of. And when you go in to get your downloads, simply go to downloads and then free downloads. Once you're on there, it will give you a list of all of the stuff that you can download for free. These are your colorways, and this will work for you just by adding to basket. So you simply type in add to basket or click add to basket, and you're going to check out. Usually when it is a new launch day, you will always find your inserts and your backing papers at the top, and then normally at the bottom of the page, but it changes to which browser that you're looking on, you'll have the original full color download, which you can see here. That's going to have all your vignettes. Pop it in your basket and check out. Those downloads will be free, and you're going to be able to put that onto your computer, which is a PDF that you simply print. My advice is print those on ProPrint if you possibly can, because that will give you the best detail. Orchard outing. Oh, I love you lot. Thank you. Who got there first? Was it Carnation? It was Carnation. Yes, thank you, Carnation. Pat on the back. I would offer you something else, but I won't see you in time. Somebody needs to make Kirsty a cup of tea. So you've got your beautiful chicken there with that archway. We're going to look at samples. We're going to have a nice stroll through them, easy and relaxed, and just see what kind of things you're going to be making. So let's talk through how we're using these sets, because things like your egg basket here, your chicken sitting in his little bowl. I love that chicken. It's so cute. And then obviously your use of those florals. So we're just talking about fanning out, because where you've got the little archway here with the sentiment going around it, which is a clever use. Lisa's just made a cup of tea. Well done, Lisa. Kirsty gets free brews all day, you see, because if Kirsty answers these, she gets free brews for the rest of the day. So you've got that, and then at the other side, the use of those florals. Now, what we're doing here is giving a pop of colour at this side, and we're framing it with the sentiment at the other. This is Sue Dalrymple, so huge shout out to you, Sue. Thank you. And you can see how it looks so beautiful with the filigree behind it. We don't have to go in for the big showstoppers. Remember, Carnation will be just as beautiful when it's clean, simple lines. That pig is beyond sweet. I don't get too close because I'm in the sun camera, Wizzy. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? The shade lines in the pig. The tilt of the head, which makes them super sweet, doesn't it? And Nick and the team's ability to do those gorgeous eyes that are just really doleful, really, really sweet and pretty. But this card obviously is taken from that main frame card shape that we've got, and so because of that, we're creating the bigger cards and we're creating the smaller. I'm just going to leave that in front of me for 1 second, and I'm going to grab one of the bigger cards. So let's see the difference when we're working here with the large card and then the small. So you've got the big shape that we can use, you've got the small shape that we can use, and that's coming from the same die. So you're getting both in one set. So it's a massive collection. I can't remember, I think it's 39 dies in this set. Huge, huge collection. Good morning, Pam Simpson. Are you all right? Lovely. Good morning from a wet northern Lincolnshire. It's lovely to have you all here. I'm sorry it's not the normal show. Normal service will resume, we promise. Here you go, Pam. You just said hello at the right time. This is one of Pam's samples. Mirrored vignettes, you see. So Carnation do a mirrored vignette where you get an image on both the back and the front, so we can have them left and right facing. And there's plenty of demos for that on the Carnation channel on YouTube. Please do hit subscribe when you're there and hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live, and that'll give you all the info. And there's loads of education on there. How pretty is that? I'm so in love with those florals. Pam, adore this Highland cow. Bruce, he's beautiful. He's Bruce. He's a beast. But those florals, I think my takeaway from this, my personal takeaway, is that floral fan is my favourite. I'm in love with the animals, but I think the cleverness of it, I'm going to really, really try and persuade Nick to do more of them, because I think it's such a great idea to fix your bouquet every way that you want to. It just makes perfect sense. Let's have a look at the wheat ostrich. Cute as a button, right? It's the height, isn't it? When we're talking about the height details in the cards and the difference and the way these animals work, we'll go as we go through, you'll see it. You can stack them. So because they've got a difference in height as they go down, so you think of the very tall horse to the ostrich to the cow, and then working your way down, and we get to the pig at the bottom who's tiny in comparison to the horse. I'm so sorry. You can stack them. And they look incredible because they've got this really beautiful, really sweet kind of look to them. They're just gorgeous. So I've got a little random chicken here. She's escaped. We've got an escaped chicken. Just let me bear with and see. Look at this. That is a sample and a half, isn't it? Barbara Tradwell. And that's the use of that big card shape. If I open this out, base card, using half for your mats and layers, and then overlapping with that midpoint. And that's how we use those cards. We change the way they work because we get so much out of one card. And I think that's incredible. A little bit of imagination takes us a long, long way, doesn't it, with carnation? Suzanne, I love the horse. I have so many people asking for horse cards. There's not many horse dies in the craft world. I don't see many horse dies in the craft world. But let's have a look at him talking about the horse. Here he is. Vera both. Thank you, Vera, for your hard work as well this year. Beautiful. Really beautiful. And it's quite simple, this card as well, in as much as we're using, obviously, the lightly weathered at the side here, or that's, yeah, lightly weathered, the horse, and that stable door. You don't have to use everything to make incredible cards with carnation. It gives us a lot of freedom, doesn't it, when we're looking at things? It gives us a lot of scope to be able to move forward with things. So I'm going to do a few more samples. I will look at your questions, just make sure I'm answering everything. But we do want to show you as much as possible. We will have another show at 11 and we'll be going through some more samples then as well, just to show inspiration, to go back through everything. Linda Wilson, stunning samples from the DT team. They're amazing, aren't they? What a team to have. What a team to have, because they are incredible. So you've got the ostrich, and then we've got the pig. You've got those little grounding devices at the bottom that are so important. The use of those florals. I think you're going to get so much use out of this whole collection, aren't you? But those florals, I think you'll take them into a lot of other cards. Let's have a look at something that's got more of a whitish background to it. So we're looking at those cleaner cards. Pam again. See the wee basket hanging on the fence? The axe at the bottom, building up the picture and the story. You're on the opposite side to me, sorry. You're building up all of that story, aren't you? There's the basket. What's happening? Who's going for the eggs? Who is, going into the roost to get those? Who is sorting that out? There's a story behind it. And if you know somebody who keeps chickens, they're gonna love this collection as well. I know, I was, saying yesterday, my mum had chickens and she used to wash their feet and then cuddle them on a night time. They each had half an hour each. And she absolutely loved her chickens. We had them as pets, by the way. They were just pets. Sue Dalrymple, look at this. See how it's faded in the background? Just take the time. See that faded distance, because these are our showstoppers at the front. But that gives us a sense of perspective, and it also gives us an extra visual to go by. Just beautiful. And that filigree is so pretty. That filigree white on white is stunning. If anybody loves their white on whites. Sue again. That's a beast, that card. I love it. I really love that card. All of the elements coming through. That's a huge amount of the collection on that card. That stable door that's sitting open, the florals, we've got your stocking up down at the bottom, we've got your lightly weathered over here with the ladder, then you've got your ready to roost down here, you've got Shirley, then you've got the Highland cow, the pig, the duck, and the horse. So that is the majority of that collection. What a great use of it. And you've still got such an awful lot of white space on that. It's a beautiful card. So many gorgeous cards that the DT have done. I'll just go through a few more for you. I'm not going to show you all of them, because I will make sure I show you the other set in the next show at 11 as well. So you get all the inspiration you could possibly want. These are obviously very different shows because Miss Tiztaz is poorly, so it is just me here. And so because I don't have an overhead, we can't give you demos today, but we will come back and give you demos. Even if it's just little old me on an overhead, we will sort it for you, I promise. But look at that. So one of the things I'm going to talk to you about very quickly, When you look at this one, part of the reason that this looks so sort of soft and marshmallowy, when you look at it, it's got a very soft tone around the edge, is the use of Perfect Papers. And we have something on the Carnation Craft website called Perfect Papers that come out with every collection. There's a different set for every collection. And the Perfect Papers are the perfect way to finish your cards. And you always get 48 sheets and you get six colorways in there. Some are patterns, some are block colors, and they work. So they're color picked from the vignettes and which we talked about, that artwork. So they work exactly right. And they're $14.99 on the Carnation Crafts website. And I don't want to keep taking you over to the Carnation Crafts website because it means I kind of lose you on my screen. But please do go and look at them. When we come back at 11 o'clock, I will have a sample of all the papers and I'll bring them and show you them. We'll go through them and look at all the colorways for you so you can see it. So we'll have some different stuff to talk about in the next show as well. But my advice is get ahead on the Perfect Papers because most people who buy the collection buy the Perfect Papers. And obviously you've also got that main card shape. So what I will do is come here and we're going to just look at the website on this little bit so I can talk to you about the codes that you're getting and that you're using, because those codes are going to be super important to you. There's your downloads for everything. If I go to the Carnation Crafts homepage, Pleasant Pastures is the first thing I see. I'm going to hit shop now, and that's going to take me into those collections. And you'll see that the full listing is here. It's $109.99, but that's not going to last. That price is going to go back up to $119.99. So you are getting a good value off. You can pay by ClearPay if you want 4 interest ones. If you go to additional information here, it will also tell you the code number. This one is 231211, and it tells you everything that it comes from. If you go to individual dies, you will also have that information. So for instance, if I was to hit this Larkspur die set and go into the additional information, it'll tell me which collection it's from. So you can always get your information from there. Some other things that I'll quickly talk to you about on the Carnation Crafts website, which are really important. One of the things is deal of the day. When we click deal of the day, it tells us what's available for today and what price we're getting it off. So you say in here that we have got the little cat on the steps, which is a really useful die for a lot of things, and they've got 25% off today, so that's down to $14.99. It is worth you checking out the deal of the day every single day, because it could be something different every single day. Well, it is something different every single day, and we never know what. So go and have a look. You'll also find inspiration here. You'll find previous TV shows that we've done on here, and you'll find the calendar. This is one of your big best friends. The calendar is all color coded, so anything that is on the calendar that is in Carnation's pink is going to be your die launch shows. So that's what's coming up in the future. Anything that's green is a back to air. It means you might have seen it before, but if you want some more inspiration, you'll find us going with that, and that'll be what's coming up. Crafters Select, those individual things that are generally only shown to the Carnation Crafters group as such, or the Carnation Crafters. It does go live on our channel, but they don't go live on national telly. We then have USBs, USB back to airs, special edition vignettes, pick and mix, and Facebook previews. So you'll see all of those on your calendar marked out, all color coded, ready for you to go and look, so you can see everything that we've got, which is super useful for you to have. So I hope that helped some of you. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea, and I will be back at 11, and we'll go through lots more samples for you. We'll have more talks. Please do think of any questions that you need answering, and I will do that at 11 o'clock. Can we just say a massive happy Christmas to the whole of the DT team first? Thank you for all of your hard work from Carnation team. We at Carnation also say a massive happy birthday, happy Christmas to you all as well at home. For those of you that can't join us at 11, but for those of you that can, I'll see you there. But yeah, huge hugs from all of us at Carnation. Massive Merry Christmas to you all. Stay safe, but I will see you in just under an hour, and I might bring a cup of tea with me. So I'll see you then. Take care. I'll see you soon.